What's good? I am Quality B Guns. Welcome to the Authentic Quality B Guns YouTube channel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're back with another one. All right, vid number 3. Moving right along. Um, you got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative and hang on to the affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. In Between. That's a little Aretha Franklin right there. So today I'm addressing the current spiritual climate we're in and ways in which you can find peace and center yourself, right? So it's a lot going on around the world. I know, some of you out there are probably seeing a lot of chaos and confusion. You got ICE, you got wars, and people crashing out, ego issues, people fighting over parking spots in the winter, different cities, things like that. But the truth of the matter is, we're in the planetary ascension right now. Um, as I understand it, um, it's time for us to move up in spiritual dimensions. So the dimension that we once were in as a human collective, now we're moving up to a higher dimension, and there are certain things that come with that. I know it's so much happening all at once. You got great things happening, people coming together, community building, people helping one another, loving one another, compassion, forgiveness. But there's also a lot of bad things that are happening. Crash outs, um, people committing crimes, and egos just getting um, out of hand, where things become violent. People don't get along. But that's all consequences of this planetary ascension. Two different spiritual realities happening at one time. On one side, you got the people that are focused on love, compassion, forgiveness, and unity. And then on the other spiritual spectrum, you have those that are in ego and fear and separation, domination, aggression, those type of things. Well, um, Mother Earth, the planet is alive and a living being, and it's our mother, right? And Mother Earth, she supports us as we walk on her, and she has decided to move up. We really have no choice in the matter, so we have to choose, and you choose by what you focus on. So, with that explanation right there, you can kind of understand why some people are experiencing um, one world based on what they focus on, whether it's ego and fear and separation, or some people focus on love, compassion, and forgiveness and experiencing what they're experiencing, right? So just keep that in mind. Um, as far as the news and the media and what's going on with the U.S. frontman, that's what I call the POTUS, the U.S. frontman. I really don't have to say his name. But you kind of got to pull away from that, right? Um, and when I say that, it's so captivating. The news and what's happening seems like there's always a story about the U.S. frontman and what's going on and what his administration is doing. You got to pull away from that, and you got to kind of curate your space. When I say curate your space, you need to make your immediate environment joyful, positive, peaceful, abundant, focusing on love. Maybe cut off some of the electronic devices that you have sometimes. Maybe put your phone on mute. Maybe turn your TV off. And sometimes just get quiet, right? I think that the more noise that you have around you, the more it can irritate you. Keep that in mind. There's a divine plan in place, right? Whatever you call the divine, I call the divine the source, the universe, the creator of all, right? You may have a different name, but the point is, it's the divine. And the divine plan is in place, and that's one affirmation that I say, I am aligned with divine abundance, and love is my guide, right? That's something I say, that's something I affirm. And you can do the same thing. Um, you got to understand that the U.S. frontman is probably more than likely a part of the divine plan. I don't know why. I don't have the answers. I can't tell you what the specifics are, but he's probably a part of the divine plan. So it really does you no good to really follow flow by flow what's going on with him. I was speaking with a college friend of mine. He was telling me about his father and how his father is always into the news, laser focused on what's going on. Anything dealing with the U.S. front man and what's happening, some people just get enamored by it. But I think that that's what you should not do. You should kind of pull away from that. And create a positive environment around you, and get into your creativity, excuse me, whatever it may be: singing, dancing, playing an instrument, DJing, painting, sculpturing, going out in nature, doing the things that you love. You got to get more into those type of things, right? So be sure to pull away from those things that are like negative and kind of brings you into a rabbit hole, a negativity about what's going on in the world. Pull away from those things. So 2026 is about coherence, right? What is coherence? It means being in alignment with your higher self, your mind, your heart, your body, all working on the same page. That means you got to slow down. That means you got to think before you act and kind of flow through life. It's not about the hustle and the bustle anymore. That season, that cycle is done. That's gone. It's not about effort. It's not about hustle and bustle. It is about coherence and alignment. That's the word that I've received and that I'm passing on to you, right? So I want to talk a little bit about meditation. I think it's important that we all have some type of meditative practice that we participate in daily. What I try to do on my end is I try to make sure I make time early in the day to meditate. It can be anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes, sometimes longer if I feel the need, but you want to take some time and you want to meditate. You can meditate by sitting somewhere with your spine is straight. You can sit cross if you want. You can sit feet flat on the floor. You can also lay down too and keep your spine straight. But some people don't like that because they get tempted to fall asleep, that type of thing. But the main thing is keep your spine straight, right? And then what you want to do is maybe cut off all your devices, maybe the lights, maybe the TV, maybe put your phone on mute. Just get it quiet in your space and have what's called still time or quiet time where you're listening to nothing at all. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there who don't really like quiet time, but that's just it. You got to take that time for yourself because Spirit speaks to us in the quiet, not necessarily in the hustle and the bustle and the fast pacedness of life. You got to take that time. You got to slow down. And then once you get quiet and you settle down and you get your back straight, you want to take a few deep breaths. I think 5 deep breaths is recommendable. I think you should breathe in for 4 counts, hold it, and exhale for 6, right? For example, you can always do more if you like, but what that does is that signals to your body to de-stress. You might find yourself stressed out. You might find yourself worked up over whatever's going on in your life, and maybe you feel tension in your body. It's important that we teach our bodies to not be tense, to surrender, and to de-stress and drop our shoulders, let our shoulders drop, okay? And just relax, right? And once you relax, you might still hear some noise in your head. You might still be thinking about your favorite song or something you might have heard earlier in the day, or maybe your favorite movie or favorite TV show or some kind of saying. That's fine. Just let those things pass, right? Let them happen. Have great, but eventually you want to get your mind quiet. I'm a musician myself, so I'm always thinking about um, music and what things sound like, what it might sound like if a band played this song or that song. So I have to allow all that to pass away. And I think about the band stopping their playing and sitting down and getting quiet, right? That helps me get quiet in my head. You might be able to do the same thing. So you want to take that time and you want to meditate. You just want to sit there for about a good 10 minutes, maybe more, 15 to 20, maybe 30, maybe longer than that. You just want to get quiet and see if Spirit has some things that may need to be shared with you. Also, it's just good for your spirit at this time to have quiet time and to center yourself. Very important. So I was going to encourage you to hang in there. Don't allow yourself to get stressed out about everything that's happening in the world. Take some deep breaths, get quiet, find that time to meditate. We also are going to talk about chakras at some point in time because all of us have chakras in our body, right? There are 7 from the gooch, as it's called, all the way up to the top of your head. That's your 7 chakras, but there's also 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 that go above your head. Now, you can't see these, but they're there, right? They're spiritual in nature. So you may not be able to see them with your physical eyes, but they are there. You want to get in the habit of activating your chakras. You can Google online and just type in how to activate chakras. All kind of things will come up. All kind of YouTube videos and other help tools will. You can ask ChatGPT to tell you how to activate your chakras. You want to get in that practice, but I guarantee you, whatever you tend to find is going to recommend to you to have a meditative practice. And having a meditative practice that you participate in daily is one of the ways that you can keep yourself centered as we go through this planetary ascension process. You don't want to find yourself stressing out. You don't want to find yourself negative or crashing out or being self-centered or being overly dominant, aggressive, judgmental. You want to have compassion on people, forgive people for if they offend you and they make you mad or they do something that you're unhappy with. You need to forgive them. You need to get to forgiveness. And that may be easier said than done and work out your own process. But eventually you want to get to the place where you say, you know what, you've offended me, but I forgive you for offending me, and I have compassion on you for not knowing any better that you have offended me. Because here's the thing, as we move up in dimensions, those grudges, the animosity, you holding on to hurt that somebody did to you, that can't go. That can't go with you. You got to release those things. And so that's a lot of why what's happening is happening in the world, because we as a human collective have to experience all of this together. And it's the best of things, it's the worst of things happening all at once, right? So these are the things that you can do to kind of center yourself as we go through this process. I'm sure you've been feeling some spiritual shifts in your, of course, in your spirit in the past couple of months. You can't describe them, you don't have the words for them, but you can feel them. That's all a part of the process. And I'm sure there are things that are coming up in your life that are needing to be addressed. Maybe unhealed hurt, maybe unhealed trauma. Um, People you need to forgive. Uh, Maybe somebody that is new in your life might be coming in an area of love, and romance. But the point is, you want to get rid of any kind of animosity, issues of forgiveness, people that offend you. You want to forgive that so you can be free, right? Because when you forgive somebody, it cuts those energetic ties between you and that person. You can move on with your life. As long as you don't forgive that person, you're going to continue to have those energetic ties between you and that person, and they're going to keep you held down. And you don't want that, especially as you're going through this process. So these are some of the things that you can do in this time as you navigate this ascension process. I'm definitely have more that I want to share. I think that's good to leave it there for now, for you to chew on and implement your own meditative process And again, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And this is the Authentic Quality Beguns YouTube channel. One.